Welcome to Dan Really Likes Wine and a slightly different location. We are not, as you will note, in my usual cellar in Johannesburg. I'm in somewhat grander surrounds, Ellerman House, South Africa, if not the world's finest luxury boutique hotel. And I'm here for a few weeks because my schedule and the schedule of Stefanus, my award-winning director who takes time off to indulge my passion for wine, have schedules that rarely collide. We both happen to be in Cape Town for a couple of days, and so for the next few weeks we're filming here at Ellerman House. And we should today be filming some wine from Greyton, some wine from Lismore, my good friend Samantha O'Keefe, and her extraordinary story from the hills outside Greyton, as well as some wine from Andy Mitchell Wines, Olivia, and her madcap garage that looks like it couldn't possibly make anything decent, but turns out she has some outstanding wine. Unfortunately, as you can see, the glasses are empty and there's not a sign of a bottle. And there's a simple reason for that. I made the very silly mistake of checking in some luggage with South African Airways. Now, I fly on SAA regularly. I like their staff, I think their food is more than decent, and they have a South African wine list, which means the wine is good, and it means that I can support local producers. Unfortunately, they're not very good at getting luggage to people on time, one of many problems with our national airline. And so while the wine should be with me here today at Ellerman House, it is instead sitting somewhere, I suppose, at OR Tambo. Now, my wine missing is not the greatest problem in the entire world. There are greater challenges we face: hunger, poverty, disease, French rugby referees. But for the purpose of trying to put this show together, not having any wine is slightly problematic. And so I can't taste wine with you, but what I thought I would do is assist the thieving wretches at SAA who have relieved me of my wine with a few tasting notes. So if you're sitting at the moment at OR Tambo and you are busy with my wine, you're perhaps watching this show on an iPad or a laptop you stole from somebody else recently, here are a few ideas on what to do with the wine now that it's in your possession rather than mine. Now, in this particular glass could be some Andy Mitchell bubbles. Now, Olivia's absolutely delightful. She used to work in Franschhoek. She's a terrific chef, and she's now following the footsteps of her late father Andy and making some quirky and enthusiastic wine. And this could be her 2013 Cup Classique. Now, the colour, if you're sitting at OR Tambo with my wine watching this, will be very similar to that sort of golden colour of the Rolex you nicked from somebody's luggage last week. It'll be effervescent, it'll be bubbly, and it'll wash down at the start of a meal or a moment of celebration really well. So perhaps you've just discovered a suitcase that's full of brand new Lacoste shirts. That would be a cause for celebration before you take them home to dish out to your family. So that's what would have been perhaps in this glass. Now, in this glass here could have been some Semillon from my friends at Shannon. Lovely estate in Elgin, beautifully cool climate, and a great spot to go and try some wine. They're very friendly people. The key for me with Semillon is to get that temperature just right. You don't want it freezing, but you certainly don't want it warm. Not that cold that it's not doing the wine justice, but taking the warm edge off it. So if you are sitting at OR Tambo and you need to cool this down, what you need to do is nip up to SAA's head office, find somebody in the customer care department, just hold it against their heart. Hard to find, but that should chill it down very quickly, and then you'll have a Semillon that's absolutely magnificent. It's got plenty of structure, it's a lovely wine, and when it comes to food wine, which I know is a very generic term because you can drink anything with food really, but for a beautiful dish, a great piece of chicken, a nice curry, this is a Semillon that should cut through it very well indeed. Now, in this glass could be some Paul Wallace Sauvignon Blanc, his little flirt. I'll try some of the Malbec in the next week or two out of Elgin. It's a superb Malbec that really does the business. But the Sauvignon Blanc, also great fun. It's pouring as a weather glass wine in a number of restaurants in Johannesburg. And after you've had a really long, hot day, pilfering through people's luggage, trying to find if there's anything that you think you deserve a little more than they do, this could be a good way to take the edge off the day. It's not too demanding a wine, it's a very relaxing Sauvignon Blanc, it's an easy style, and it's just a really good toast to say, you know what, I've spent a busy day taking things that don't belong to me. This will wrap it up nicely. And then to wrap up, the fourth wine I might have had a look at today, I'll head back to Lismore. This could be the Syrah. Now, Lismore's famed for its whites. Samantha O'Keefe has worked real magic out in Greyton, But her Syrah has got a huge amount of attention. In fact, Robert Parker, if I'm not mistaken, called it one of last year's 50 wines to drink. That is quite an accolade. And I've got to be honest, this wine stole my heart, just like the people who run SAA have stolen millions and millions of rands to sustain lifestyles of luxury around the world. In fact, they could use some of that money to buy some Lismore wine or any of this other wine and put some money back in to the wine business. Now, there's a chance my wine might still turn up. If so, I hope I get some Voyager miles for that as well as for me, because if I did get Voyager miles for my luggage as well as myself, given we're rarely on the same flight, I'd have double if not more than what I do at the moment. So no wine, but a lovely location, and I'll be back here again next week at Ellerman House. Thankfully, Manny, the sommelier here, is as good as there is on the planet. He'll supply me with some wine from Elgin, and we'll catch up with that part of the world next week. For now, I'm off to the British Airways website to see what flights are on offer. Cheers.